And another criticism, and Jim Acosta is our man at the White House. He's over there in the East Room getting ready for this news conference with the president. Another criticism I've heard, if you go through the details, Jim, and I wonder how the administration responds to this, they point out that all the inspectors that the Iranians will allow to come in from the International Atomic Energy Agency will have to be inspectors from countries that have full diplomatic relations with Iran, meaning the United States will not be allowed to have any inspectors that actually go into Iran to take a look, because the U.S. does not have full diplomatic relations with Iran. What does the administration say about that?
That's right, and that was a concession that was made during this negotiating process, and essentially it's because the Iranians don't trust the Americans to do a credible job of inspections. And so what you're going to see unfold, I think, Wolf, is yes, you're going to have daily routine inspections of the known sites that have been a part of the Iranian nuclear lexicon for some 5 or 6 years now. The question becomes what happens with these suspicious sites, and that's where you get into a potential cat and mouse game. There's been a lot of talk, and the Israelis have been demanding this notion of anytime, anywhere access to sites around the country. Administration officials have said, that's just a myth. There's no country on earth that's going to allow international inspectors to go anywhere at any time. It's just not going to happen. And so what you're going to have to see unfold here, Wolf, is this negotiated process, and it's going to get frustrating at times, not only for the White House but the other partners who are part of this deal. There may be some moments in the coming months where these inspectors are not getting access to these sites, these possible military sites where there may be nuclear activity suspected of occurring. The inspectors may not get automatic, immediate access to those sites, and that's when the games begin. And, you do hear from administration officials what they don't want to do, Wolf, is to get back to flashback to 10, 12 years ago before the Iraq war got started. And, there were inspectors trying to get access to sites, and the Iraqis were saying, no, you can't have access to these sites. But, Wolf, I think what you're going to hear from the president when he comes in here in a few moments, and hopefully it's a few moments from now, is the president will walk through some of the arguments that he laid out yesterday, which is if you don't have a deal, what happens next? If you don't have a deal, the president will say that 2 to 3 month breakout time that the Iranians currently have gets shrunk to zero. And then all of the activities that the Israelis, the Republicans, everybody else is worried about supporting terrorism, supporting the Houthi rebels in Yemen, supporting the Assad regime in Syria, all of that becomes much, much worse because you have potentially a nuclear state in Tehran. And so that is an argument you're going to hear from the president, that it is much easier to keep a lid on Iran with this in place. And that's why I think you heard yesterday Hillary Clinton, when she was up on Capitol Hill, saying, this is an important first step to keep a lid on the Iran nuclear program. The question, though, becomes for Hillary Clinton and for this White House is, as goes this Iran nuclear deal, as go these inspections and the cat and mouse games that may follow, so go not only the prospects for this White House and the legacy of this presidency, but potentially Hillary Clinton's candidacy. Can you imagine, Wolf, that she's trying to run for president and you have these Iranians throwing up roadblocks and playing games with international inspectors over these Iranian nuclear sites? It could be a very, very big headache for the Democrats over the remaining months of this presidency.